Good evening to all of you. Our topic today is engineer in society, right? So you will wonder whether why engineer is important in society, right? So I am going to analyze who is an engineer, what is the society, what is the connection, and why it is important, the role of engineer in society, right? So let me give some. First of all, of course, I would like to ask few questions from you. Question number one. Do you need a society to live in? What is your answer? If there is no society, can we live in isolation? So, you mustn't have heard these questions earlier, right? So, why society is important? I'm going to explain that. My second question is on, do we have a role to play in the society as engineers? Then what is the role, right? So, we'll come to that later. So basically human beings live in groups, right? You call it man is a social animal. Aristotle said in centuries ago, social animal cannot live in isolation. So they live in groups, right? In association of other people. So you need company. You need association of human beings. So basically, human beings cannot exist in isolation. They are living in groups, right? So that is the point there. So when you are in a group, there are certain things you have to do. You have to share, right? Work together, teamwork, those things come into the picture. So they share their joy, their sorrow, right? So that is kind of sharing. Let's see what society is. The term society is most fundamental to sociology, right? Sociology. This theme or this topic is a bit strange to us as engineers. It is derived from the Latin word socius, right? Which means companionship and friendship. Companionships and friendship. Companionship means sociability, right? Association with others. Man always lives in the company of others. So that is the group behavior, right? You live in groups. So basically we all know we are living in groups. We living in society in groups. So society for living, for working and enjoying life, right? So this is the nature of human beings. So let's see the definition. Society is defined as a group of people who share a common culture, occupy a particular territorial area, and feel themselves to constitute an undefined, ununified, and distinct entity. It is the mutual interaction and interrelations of individuals and groups, right? So these definitions and all these explanations will tell you society is a must. We live in society in groups, right? So society has become an essential condition for human life to continue, right? So these are the justifications I am trying to put forward in support of this society. Let's see another definition. the community of people or varied collection of individuals living in a particular country or region and having shared these things. Law, culture, customs, relationships, mutual interests, shared institutions, right? So we live in society, we share with others with so many things. Our bad days, our good days, our good feelings, bad feelings, everything we share, right? So this will justify that human beings live in groups, right? So you have to help each other. So is it relevant to engineers? Yes. Why it is relevant? Let's see. We have been taught science and technology, but not sociology, right? So we have been taught science and technology. We use science and technology for our day-to-day activities. So is it relevant? Sociology? It is, right? We have not been taught sociology in the universities, have you? I don't think so. Technical, we have been taught mathematics, mathematic related analysis, science, mechanics, right? Kind of things, right? So, engineers are not taught sociology, the behavior of human beings in the society. We don't know the theories, right? But when you work in a group, when you are working in a society, we have to know certain parameters, right? So this part is lacking, right? Humanities, we have not been taught. Culture, it is not included in our curriculums, right? Sociology, it is a curriculum issue, I guess. Is it? Engineers' role in society is not emphasized. Have you been taught about these things in the universities or maybe even after in your postgraduate studies? That part is missing, right? That part is missing. But you have a role in the society, right? Why society is important to engineers? We are human beings like other people. We interact with people. We live in the society. So we are part of the society. So that is why it is important. Just because we learn engineering, we learn mathematics and science and technology, we can't break the links with others, right? We are part of the society. So what is relevance of sociology in engineering? Engineers have to deal with society, especially for those who work in the fields. So take for example somebody working in the field, you have to interact with people, right? You have to associate with people. You will come across problems, issues. There you have interaction with the society. If you are working in the office, still you get some interaction with others, other people, customers or the receivers of service, right? So they have to understand society needs and design their work to solve problems of society. So now think about yourself, what you are doing. If you critically analyze your services, in the chain, at one point, society is involved, right? If you list out your activities, right? At one point, you are interacting with the society, right? So that is the point. They have to understand society needs and design their work to solve problems of society. Engineers with knowledge of sociology would have knowledge of society needs, right? So if you understand the sociology, you will be understanding the needs, society needs easily, right? That would help him to develop a successful career in engineering focusing the society, right? So you have to learn this. With interaction you will learn something, but not everything, right? So engineering is a dynamic process. It's changing every day. 20 years back, the stuff we had is so much developed now. If you take the mobile phone now, can you remember about 40, 50 years back, my time, when I was in the university, we got this massive gadol bagi. That time we called it gadol bagi, right? Now see, you have a smartphone, touch phone, the whole world is inside that. So it's developing, right? So engineering should fit into the context today or the development today, right? So it is happening all over the world. So you deal with designs, calculations, planning, evaluations, management, supervision. Is this the life of engineers? So it is more than this. That part is your connection with the society, right? So what is engineering? Scientific knowledge, societal need. The common segment is engineering. Now I would like to analyze this. You see, the most common part is the combination of analysis, creativity, social needs, scientific knowledge. The combination of that is engineering, right? So creative analysis with scientific knowledge catering to societal needs through engineering gives innovative products and services. So we are providing services to the general public, the society, through innovation, right? So whatever the thing you can name, right, it is output of creative thinking, right? So you think about a car or a machine or anything, right? The system has developed through engineering. Let's see science. The systematic study of structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation and experiment, right? Through observation and experiment. What is technology? The application of scientific knowledge for practical purpose. Organized body of knowledge, knowledge concerned with applied science. So knowledge, application. So look at this statement. Scientist discovers that which exists. Engineer creates that which never was. Right? So that is the difference between scientist and engineer. Engineer is a creator of new stuff. So let's see the definition of engineer. Engineer is a professional practitioner of engineering, applying scientific knowledge, mathematics, and develop solution for technical problems. So that is what we do, right? In your workplace, although this is not done directly, but you are part of that process, right? Finding solutions technically. Design material, structures and systems while considering the limitations imposed by practicality, safety and cost. So we got two new words, safety and cost. So when you talk of engineering, cost is important, cost concern, safety. Those two components come into the product, right? You cannot do anything at any cost, optimum cost. That is engineering. Look at this statement. Engineering is application of science to the common purpose of life. Now you take about services, product, right? Where it is connected to the human being. Smartphone, vehicle, machine, solar system, there is some kind of link to the human being, right? So you name it, there's a connection. Engineering is the art of directing and the great sources of power in nature for the use and convenience of mankind. All engineering creations, products, services for the mankind, right? For the mankind. That is the prime objective of engineering. Engineering is the art of organizing and directing men and controlling the forces and materials for the benefit of the human race. So that doesn't mean that you produce everything for the mankind. We produce other things for the others also. Maybe animals, nature, right? Look at this statement. Engineers Council for Professional Development says, engineering is the profession in which the knowledge of mathematical and natural science gained by study, experience and practice is applied with judgment to develop ways to utilize the materials and forces of nature economically for the benefit of the mankind. So everywhere this, you look at, you Google anything about society, mankind is there. Human being is there. So prime objective of engineering, support, help the mankind. That is why it is important. Engineers have a big role in the society. A long statement by President of US Herbert Hoover. You can read this. Look at the second sentence. Then it brings jobs and home to men. Then it elevates the standard of living and adds to the comfort of life. That is the engineer's high privilege. So all this development will make the living standard higher and higher. Life is made easy, right? More comfort to the people. So technology development creates upliftment of the living standard. That is where engineers are important in society, right? So you can act in any field, right? So we are not magicians. We use our knowledge to create things. Magicians are making things. You know, they have tricks. We don't have tricks, right? Now you are sitting for the B paper with the aim of getting the membership of IES, charter status, right? This is the definition, right? Chartered engineers are characterized by their ability to develop appropriate solutions to engineering problems using new or existing technologies through innovation, creativity and change. So I like these three words: innovation, creativity, change. The word change, people don't like to change, right? In your office, if you try to change the arrangement, seating arrangement, you can imagine the resistance you get. If you turn in your home, if you try to turn your bed to the other side, you see the resistance you get. So we don't like the change. But engineering is changing things, right? So you can't get innovative solutions without change. So what are the fundamentals? Investigation, planning and design, construction, manufacturing, operation and maintenance, continual improvement, research and development, right? Engineering is all around us. Ask yourself, what do I touch that is engineered? I am touching this keyboard, engineered. I am touching this, engineered, right? If you touch your handphone, engineered. If you touch your watch, engineered. If you switch on the light, engineered. Everywhere, almost everything, right? You have your spectacles, engineered. You have hinges, you have shapes, right? You have strength, material strength. Everything is engineered, right? So without engineering, you can't have a development, right? You can go back to your primitive times. Still, people use engineering techniques. You remember lever to lift something. They use a lever, right? Likewise, everywhere it is engineering. It is an art. Approximation, measurement, estimation, forecast and projection. With your knowledge or without your knowledge, you are doing this, right? Modeling and simulation, right? So if you analyze the work you are doing in your office even, so kind of stuff you are doing connected to these, some of these, right? Communication, technical report writing and presentation. Finance, innovation, it is a creative process, right? So when you rise up in your ladder, you can be anybody here, right? Day by day, when you uplift yourself, right, you will achieve, I don't know, any position like this, right? So whatever your position, you have to play the role of engineer. So if you become a lawyer, still there are so many engineers becoming lawyers, right? Still you can't forget your engineering. The role of engineer in the society, right? That is my point. So it is more than the calculations, designs, planning, supervision. Sometimes he plays role which on first impression are not linked to their professional training. The training received as an engineer is part of the reason which an engineer can display his versatility and creativity. Right? You have to be versatile and creative. We live in a complex global and intercultural world with a lot of problems. It is compulsory that engineers should amplify the horizon of their specialized technical knowledge in the field of development within the norms of and principles of ethics. So you do things, you do various things, so you are bound by the ethics. There are certain things you should not do. There are regulations. It is not imposed by the institutions, but you have your moral ethics as well, right? Because you are an engineer, right? Which means something, a man on the road, if he is doing something wrong, you can't do that wrong thing. If something is, say a man on the road is doing a right thing, but it is wrong. If you are an engineer, you can't do the wrong thing even if it is right. So what are the social responsibilities? Let's see the list. Ensure the safety and interest ahead of all other considerations for well-being of the public. Safety. I mentioned that word earlier also, safety. Whatever you do, you ensure the safety for the people, right? Ensure that society funds and resources concerned with technology are well used. You have that responsibility because you are using public funds, right? Taxpayers' money, as nowadays people are talking about taxpayers' money. A lot of politicians are talking about taxpayers' money, money of the people. So you are, even if you don't feel it at lower level, still you are handling public funds. Concern about the impact of engineering projects on environment and society. So when you get involved in projects that will tarnish the image of engineer, you should be careful of. Protect the environment and society. If something is in that line, you have to take preventive action. Refusing to work on a particular project or for a particular company, violating above. So you must have guts, you must have your strong standing, opposing something is destructive to the society. That is the work of an engineer, right? The responsibility of an engineer. Speaking out publicly against improper projects. This statement is controversial in certain countries, but that is the fact. right? Expose illegal or wrongdoings. These are responsibilities, right? Professional society's obligation to provide protection for such people. Now, if somebody is against something, wrongdoing, the professional body should come forward and protect such people. That is the duty. Contributing one's services to worthy non-profit groups and projects. So, my particular point here is, you are supposed to work on certain things voluntarily. In simple terms, don't expect money for everything. You have a responsibility as engineers. Commitment to educate future engineers about their social responsibilities. So if somebody is working under you, if you are under somebody, your superior should educate you. These are things, but these are not happening 100%. But these are responsibilities, right? Voluntarily educating the public about important consequences of various technological and scientific developments. So if something is happening, project is coming up, it is the responsibility of the engineering bodies to educate people. Now, there are instances where when you have the reports of projects, they are published, open to general public for comments. You would have seen notices on the newspapers saying that this project is being studied and report is being prepared. If you have any objection, any comment, you can submit your observations, right? So this will bring recognition to the profession and recognition in the society. Our engineers' recognition in the society, right? That will ensure if you follow these things. Now look at this code of ethics. Engineers shall hold paramount of safety, health and welfare of the public, and shall strive to comply with the principles of sustainable development in the performance of their professional duties. So wherever you find a statement, public part is there, right? Then software engineering code of ethics, approve software only if they have a well-founded belief that it is safe, meets specification, passes appropriate tests, and does not diminish quality of life, diminish privacy, and or harm the environment, right? So everywhere in any kind of statement, any kind of thing, these are highlighted. The ultimate effect of the work should be for public good. This is another one, IEEE Code of Ethics. Everywhere it's same, right? Protect the safety, health and welfare of the public. Everywhere it's same, right? Public interest. Contribute professional advice as appropriate to civic, charitable or other non-profit organizations. Seek to extend public knowledge and appreciation of the engineering profession and its achievements. So everywhere it is protecting the general public. It's another one. Engineers will translate into action the dreams of humanity, traditional knowledge and concept of science to achieve sustainable management of the planet through the creative application of technology. Then come to the very important thing. Why engineers have the responsibility of interaction of technology and society? Because engineers are ones who create and implement the technology. Right? You are the developers, creators, producers, thinkers, right? They should be responsible for their own actions and creations because of the impact of their work and society, work on society and the people. Whatever produce, whatever develop, end user is general public, the society, right? I think now it is clear to you why society is important, why engineers in society are important, and also their duties towards the benefit of the society, right? Today, the consequences of human creativity in the areas of engineering, technology and science have reached measures that only few decades ago were unimaginable. Now, when you compare the technology we are enjoying today, maybe 10-15 years back, we never thought of, right? So all these are creations by people, right? Majority from engineers, right? Now look at these things: biotechnology, nanotechnology, genetic engineering, artificial intelligence, information technology. You see, now we never thought of having meetings online before 2019. Now it is a platform. You can have meeting with the participation of entire world, right? People from all over the world. Technology, right? So there are developments in all engineering fields, right? So these are the areas. We have achievements: nuclear technology, electronics, laser and fiber optics, space exploration, petroleum, industry, technology, aeronautics, electrification, agricultural, image technology, health, training, research and development. All these are based on research and development. Health technology. Now you take what are the developed technologies available now. Now, if you want to diagnose something inside your body, we have apparatus. Without cutting through, you have gadgets to see inside the body how the organs work, right? So development. Behind that is now, if you have a problem in the stomach, you can insert a camera through your mouth that has light, camera, that has various other facilities. If you have anything, you can pick and take. Good old days, you have to cut open, right? So technologies in the health sector is very much developed, right? So all this is the thoughts of creators. So these are the basic areas, like, infrastructure developments. power and energy, environment, poverty alleviation, food production, natural disasters, research and development, education and training, health sector, discovery, recovery. In all these areas, engineering is very much involved. I'll show you some of the pictures. Infrastructure. From the images, of course, you can see the development, right? Power and energy. So these are developments, the creations of engineers. So all these facilities are used by general public, right? Environment. Poverty. You have a role. Food. Food production. This is the picture below here. This one. This picture won Pulitzer Prize, right, in 1993. This picture was taken by Kevin Carter, the photographer. But after winning the prize, he committed suicide. Nobody knows what the reason is. You know how he committed suicide? He got into the garage, closed all doors, started the car, and with the exhaust, carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, he inhaled and died. Now the story behind this picture is this child is crawling. You see the nature of the child, right? The bird behind, vulture, that bird is called vulture, is following the child. When she is dead, the bird is going to eat the child. That is the real story behind this picture. So world is so in a very bad state as far as the food is concerned, poverty is concerned. Food production, lot of engineering is coming into this. Crop enhancement, production enhancement, new technology, increase the production or harvest. And how do you like this? It's all fruits and all vegetables and fruits, right? Natural disasters. So you have a role. In all these items, we have a role, right, to play. Disasters, earthquakes, floods, right, tsunami, fire. Research and development is a very important component in engineering where you develop products, right? So all this is coming from research and development. Education and training is another important area where you have to educate everybody, starting from the childhood. Health sector, as I said earlier, a lot of development, right? Now there are operations you can do with a hole, small hole in your body. You can insert various gadgets and you can do the operation without cutting. So, a lot of development in health sector. Discovery in all fields, right? Now you see the aircraft here. This one, A380, is the largest aircraft in the world, right? It can carry 600 people, passengers, at a time. This is the largest. And down here, rotating tower, right? So here you see the most expensive hotel in Middle East, right? The most important thing is not that. You see here the facing, that is called a structural fabric. It is a structural fabric manufactured in Sri Lanka, right? Structural fabric is manufactured in Sri Lanka. It is in the BOI zone in Biagama, one of the companies, and they are manufacturing for export purposes only. If you take cricket ground in Melbourne, MCG, Melbourne cricket ground, the roof is structural fabric from Sri Lanka. India, Jawaharlal Nehru cricket ground, roof is this fabric, right? Recover. Now we had the greatest recovery after tsunami. See, the railway line from Kalutara downwards fully destroyed, right? So I had the opportunity to visit there 2 days after the disaster when I was in CCB. So CCB got involved in recovering the railway line with shortest possible time. So it is our responsibility. I mean, nobody is going to invite you for this. You have to voluntarily get involved and do your service, right? So any of these activities, nobody is going to invite you. It is your responsibility. So what are the challenges? Different energy scenario, secure cyberspace, green technology is very much in the business now, right? Ecosystem balance, water availability, energy efficiency, global warming, waste management. Now, take these topics. Who are responsible? Engineers, nobody else. The main responsible sector is engineering sector. So the most important thing, engineers' contribution at the primary decision making process is very vital, very important. So I gave some points about your duties. At the time of planning, if something is going wrong, you have to raise your voice. That is why he says, primary decision making process, your decision is very important. Your comments, your observations, right? I am going to show you some creative stuff for transporting water. Now you see these children carrying water on head, on buckets, right? So when you have heavy weight on your head, at the age like this, what will happen if you are doing it repeatedly? What will happen? These children don't grow old, don't grow tall. Right? So there was a creative idea about transporting the water. This is the gadget. This is called Q drum. Right? The drum is a tank. You have a hole in the center. You can roll it. Here you can fill the tank and roll it. You don't have to carry on the head. Right? This is one of the creative ideas. This creative idea for society, right? Communication is very important for engineers, right? You must be able to communicate with people and other sectors, right? So I'm basically a highway engineer. When we were planning roads, I have involved in so many planning of roads to mainly to hydropower projects. Kukule, Samala, Randenigala, then Morogul, Apopotmale, then there's another project I can't remember. Right. So when you go to plan roads, roads go through the lands of people, right? So you have to get the consent. You have to explain the benefit, right? Then people will support you. So that is the way I followed during my time when I was planning the roads. We explained them, right? The benefits. When we were planning the road on Mahaveli Rajamawata Dumbari Salva, that is on the right bank from Victoria to Randenigala, the advantage of a road, when you develop a road, there will be a lot of business coming up on the either side of the road. People come and put up their houses. It's a kind of development, right? So if it is going through jungle, of course, no issue, but if it is going in a developed area, there will be issues always. So you have to address them. It is your responsibility, right? You talk to the people, you amicably settle solutions, settle problems, right? This one interesting statement by Mahatma Gandhi. There are two types of people in this world. One category works hard, other category gets credit from the others' work. My father advised me to be in the first category because there is no fight among the working category. Fight is within the category who does not work but try to get the credit. In our workplaces there are people like that, right? So what is your duty? Explain them. Explain their importance, right? Talk to them. In all sectors you have these kind of people, right? And when I was in service, of course, before assigning any work to anybody, I generally ask, can you do this? Because all are not of same capacity, right? So different people have different capacities. So you talk to them and see whether you can do it. If I can't do it, okay, I will give me some other work to him and give that particular work to somebody else who can do it, right? So that is kind of negotiation. Politicians with the society, right? Now you would have experienced certain things when you are dealing with certain activities, right? Engineers rarely deal with society, but politicians deal with the society. They earn the recognition from the society. But they don't do anything to the people. Practically, engineers are providing services to the public. But we don't get the recognition. Why is that? Our interaction in the society is very minimum. And engineers don't like to work with politicians. That is a natural truth, right? But my experience is, if you explain politicians your view, you must be straightforward enough to explain. They have some brain to understand. I have done this with various ministers, some presidents. So you can convince them. Come up with your proposal, right? So, but the thing is, majority don't want to do that. You are violating the rules I mentioned earlier, right? I'll tell you one example. I was handling economic center at Ratmalana in front of the water board. Economic center Ratmalana, I was in charge of the development. There was a building planned, complex. The ground floor for fish market. You have a center, you have the courtyard right around the building. Ground floor facing the courtyard, the shops are allocated for fish market. First floor, second floor, textile shops. So it is not matching, right? This was the plan. Plan was finalized. At the final meeting, I said to the minister, this is not matching. People in the textile shop will feel the smell of fish. He realized that. So he immediately ordered to change it. Another point, we did a road inside this economic center, Ratmalana. There was an issue about the road layout. Now, you can't have the roads the way you want. There are certain guidelines. So, minister was asking whether can you have like this? I said no. There will be problems if you have it like that. The drainage issues. So, if you explain, they will realize. So, we are not, why? We are not strong enough. I don't say strong enough, but we are reluctant, right? So, you have to earn your position. Now, I come to your personal life. How many in your neighborhood know that you are an engineer? Next door person? Sometimes not. That will show you how much you involved with the society. Right? How many times you have given engineering advice to others, not to your subordinates, but people in the area? If somebody is putting up a house, if you are a civil engineer, how many times you have given advice if you say something happening wrong? Have you? If somebody is doing a well, if you are engineering the water board, you can give advice. How many times you have done that? If there is a drainage issue, have we given advice? I'll tell you my example. There was a road to my house. It was UC road. It was relayed by a contractor. But he was using wrong techniques. I intervened and said, do it this way. This is the method of doing it. If you don't do it, don't do. So they followed. When the supervisor came also, I advised him from the you see, this is the method. Do it, this is the correct method. They did it. So on my road, people know who am I. You go to the junction in your area and ask, this engineer, where is he? What engineer? Nobody knows. But you go to the junction, do you know this lawyer? Ah, yes, he's there. You go to the junction and ask three-wheel driver, this doctor? Ah, yes, yes, he's there. So something is missing in us. Right? So we'll have to correct ourselves. Otherwise, we'll have to have like this, a t-shirt, I'm an engineer, whatever you use, I'm an engineer, or a board in front of your house, right? To show that you are a professional engineer, you are prepared to help, right? That is your duty, right? How many in your organization know that you are an engineer? In your own organization. Not your subordinates, other staff. Right? Now you go back to your workplace on Monday, think about it, right? They know accountant. They know the finance manager, administrative officer, more than you. Why? They have more connection with them than engineers, right? So you have to look at this. If ordinary person wants to buy a solar system, from whom he gets advice, engineer or shop owner? Right? So if I go to a shop to buy something, if somebody is asking about engineering question from the shop owner, I will explain the buyer. This, he doesn't know. Shop owner doesn't know. Right? This is where you interact with the society. These are some small components, but it has some value. What is the social activity you got involved in last 3 months? These things I am giving you to think about. You may be providing indirect services, but direct service to society brings you recognition. Indirect service is all behind the screen. You have to come out of the screen. In how many projects engineers are recognized at the opening ceremonies? They are doing all the hard work, not in the stage, not in recognition, right? So you have to interact, express your views. Another embarrassing kind of statements, but still I need your attention for that. When you go for a meeting, lectures, where do you sit? Now here. Front or back? If it is a film hall, of course you sit in the back. But in lectures you sit in the front. Right? How many meetings, lectures you have opened your mouth to speak? When speaker calls somebody from the audience, how many times you have come forward? So think about it. Something happens on the street, have you come forward for any assistance? This is where you can, interact with the society, right? To earn the recognition. If you are walking on the road, there's a stone in the middle of the road. Three-wheel drivers pick stones to support their wheel, three-wheeler wheel. Have you seen? After that, he just goes leaving the stone in the middle of the road. What is your duty? You can do two things. You can just walk past that, or you can remove that. What do? This, you don't have to be an engineer to do this. Your duty is to remove that. If there's a leak on the road, water leak, what is your duty? Call the water board. There's a leak at that particular location, rectify it. So I generally do this. Sometimes I call water board, there's a leak at that point or two, rectify it. Okay, we'll come and we'll do that. The following day, it is not attended. So I call again and said, there's a leak. I phoned you yesterday, but up to now, not attended. Okay, we are sending him now. Third day, same thing. Then I said, I am calling from the minister's office. Immediately people came. So that is the kind of, style people are working. We are in that wrong path, right? So IESL generally organize various activities for the members, right? What are the IESL activities you have got involved in last 6 months? So you have the opportunity to get involved in IESL activities where you can, to some extent, interact with others, contribute to others' work, share your knowledge with others, make the society feel that you are wanted, right? So you have to think about those lines when you have a responsibility being an engineer. Open up. Abdul Kalam said, I am not handsome, but I can give my hand to someone who needs help. Beauty is in heart, not in face. Now, in society, who's going to invite you for social work? Who's going to invite? Nobody is going to invite you. You have to voluntarily get involved. Societal activities. That is where you earn your recognition. Nobody is going to invite you, right? So let's see what are the activities in IESL. Sectional committees, we have 7 sectional committees for different fields: civil, electrical, mechanical, building services, electronic. Then we have public lectures, memorial lectures every year, educational programs, technical and field visit. All these are related to actually to the profession. Competitions, engineering excellence award, techno exhibition, building clinic, New Year and Christmas festivals. Get involved in these activities of IESL. So you connect with people, network, then you will open up opportunity to serve in the society as well. And we have music engineer group in IESL, right? So there are so many things. Now I want to tell you one creative thing. We had one very creative personality in our history of engineering. Dr. A.N.S. Kulasinga. Dr. Kulasinga is a creator, out of the box thinker, right? And in a person, in the brain, there are two sides, left side and right side, right? Left side deals with your education, mathematics, science, analysis, all kind of stuff. Right side, your hobbies, your sports, your music, other things, social activities. But the funniest thing is, your creativity is not in the left brain, it is in the right brain. So if you want to be a creative person, there's no point developing your mathematics, your science, it is on the right side. So you have to be a good left sider as well as right sider. Then you will become brilliant, creative person. Dr. Kulasinga is that. Because he likes sports, he likes music, he is a very good tablaist, flutist. He has played in a music band. That side, right side is very strong. Left side is very strong. That is why he became so creative. With that intention, we created the music engineers. For engineers to come and, contribute, right? Your career development depends on your 3 lives. What are your 3 lives? You have 3 lives. What are the 3 lives you have? You have only 1 life. You have 3 lives. Any idea? Yes? Huh? Interesting. Lives. 3 lives. That is 1 life. You have any idea? No idea. I'll tell you. Professional life. What is the next life? Professional life. Next life is family life, personal life. 1 more life. Social life. Society is there. To be a successful person, you have to be successful in all 3 lives. Professional, personal, social. Social is 1/3 of your life, right? So this is for everybody, but for engineers, social life is more important than anybody else, because you are serving the society. So develop positive mindset. Think this way. If one can do it, if no one can do it, I can do it. If no one can do it, I must do it. If one can do it, I can do it. If no one can do it, I must do it. But don't think this way. If one can do it, let him do it. If no one can do it, how can I do it? Right? There is a difference between positive mindset and negative mindset. So So the choice is yours, right? Now look at this list. Now if you look at news, evening news, you see these kind of complaints people are making. No drinking water, no electricity supply, not about power cuts, right? Some areas don't have supply, electricity supply. No bridge to cross the stream, you have only Edanda. You would have seen so many stories like that in news, right? No facilities in hospitals. We don't have OPD, we don't have playrooms, kind of thing. Poor roads and no roads to some places. General complaints. School building needs repair. Roof is falling. Roof is leaking. Right? No transport service. No bus service. People are walking miles. Now, this came up very recently after 2019. People use internet and other services, online services, even for studying. People school children study, they climb trees, they go to highest places, they climb water tanks to get the signal. No signal. Now these are the general complaints you hear every day in news. Now my question is related to this. Who is responsible for these? Who is responsible for these? Look at the solutions. Who should give the solutions? Is it minister, provincial authorities, or divisional secretary, Gram Sevak? No. Solution should come from who? Engineers or engineering bodies. These are technical problems, right? Technical issues. All are technical issues. How many of us coming out of solutions for these issues? So it is our responsibility, right? If you have an issue in your area, you have to come up and get some arrangement. You have a duty there. But now it has been a practice that when you get a issue like this, you take it to the minister. Minister is a mediator. He calls engineering department and asks to give the solution, and minister gets the credit. That is what is happening. We do the same thing under the direction of the minister and palm off the credit to the minister. So you have to come up with solutions to engineering issues, right? So think about that. You are young engineers in the industry now. Think about that. Keep that in mind. So another statement by Dr. Abdul Kalam: if you salute your duty, you need not salute anybody. But if you pollute your duty, you have to salute everybody. So be firm on your decision. Don't salute everybody. So be an engineer to create value to the profession, your family and society. These are the three areas you have to concentrate on: profession, family, society. You know 3R? Respect for self, respect for others, responsibility of your actions. Final remarks. You have to improve your language skills. Take up responsibility what you do. Get all-round experience, not only in your particular area, right? Do work with dedication and commitment. Share your knowledge. Enjoy what you do. Be a chartered engineer within minimum possible time. What is the minimum possible time? 4 years. So think about yourself, right? 4 years is minimum possible time. Now, within that period, try to become a chartered engineer. So you will have more responsibility, more recognition. Also, responsibility towards society, people of this country. Serve the society and your country. That is the prime objective, right? So with that, I want to conclude. So my final message to you: you are a part of the society. You have responsibility towards society. Do that. Dispose your services. Help others. Right? Work as an engineer with responsibility towards society. With that, I want to finish my presentation. If you have any questions, I can answer.
So with regard to the exam, regard to the PPP exam, so how would you normally, I saw a few past papers, there were questions. How do you normally expect people for us to write like a point form, or you want like a long?
It is open to you. You can write in point form or essay form. It is okay. Only thing, target the point. Read the question carefully. Target the point. What is asked? Answer the question. Understand the question. Target the point it is raising. So, in most of the cases, of course, you are not targeting the point. In majority of the cases, if you target the point, of course, the method of writing is immaterial. What else? Out of this presentation, if you have any issue, any question? Now you said you are in the water board, so you have certain duties now, right?
Complaints from the society have at least, so we know as for the society we have as example some no work, no electricity, but it is some government or some there is some administrative part to instruct you in engineering department or some government engineering department, as example SCC or some. That's so voluntary engineers cannot go there.
I reply your point. You are alone. I don't think settle this or handle these things. It is your duty to bring it to the notice of respective department. Right? In case of say electricity, you can't provide electricity yourself, right? You can bring it to the notice of higher level so that they can take action. what does the minister do? He calls area engineer. That area doesn't have electricity. Attend to it. That is the instruction. So you bring it to the notice of the area engineer. This area, there's an issue like this. It's not happening. We'll have to do this. Even not only engineers, I mean even peons. So that area, arapete light ne, usually to do gini. Such things are required. But in our system, we don't listen to these things. If somebody powerful tells you only, you do it. So it is our moral duty. What else? CMC. There are a lot of issues. Drainage, rainwater disposal. There was some time back, child died after falling into a drain. Can you remember? There was a flood in Colombo. A child, somebody fell into the drain and washed away and died.
1 year back.
Yeah, about 1 year back, yes. So if you happen to go on the road and see such a dangerous area, you have to bring it to the notice of the authority. It is your duty. What else? If you have any more questions, otherwise we can wind up. Okay, then thank you very much for your participation online as well as physically. So I wish you all the best. So try to answer to the point and get through the exam at the first attempt. Right? Okay then. Have a nice weekend.